Welcome to the inaugural video on the channel. This is Noe with Attic Wargaming. I figured since a new channel, new everything, I figured we'd start with what a better way to lead it off than with the release of Warhammer 40k 9th edition, and we're going to be opening up the Indomitus box to see what's inside and what all the goodies look like and what all the models look like. So I've seen a couple of other videos that have the contents inside, but I wanted to get a look at them myself. I was lucky enough to be able to get a copy a couple of days early so I could film this and have it ready for you guys today. But yeah, so here we go. New Indomitus box, very fancy, high quality box. Tends to be the new style that they're going with. Everything from Betrayal at Calth to the Speed Freaks box, all their traditional board game type boxes. They're making it so I guess you can use these to store your models in once you put it together, or it'll look really nice on the shelves. Big fancy artwork on the front. This is, from what I've been told, this is actually not a starter. It's actually a 9th edition launch box, I think is what they were. I think it might be what they're calling it. But it's got several new models. Actually, I believe it's got all new models. Let's look at the back real quick. With Space Marines and Necrons. New rule book, campaign book, new transfers. But yeah, all new sculpts for the Necrons. Looks like new sculpts for the Primaris Lieutenant. A couple of new units. But yeah, let's open it up and take a look and see what's inside. Alright. Got the nice artwork that's accompanying all of these new ones. It's kind of hard to see, a little bit of glare, but yeah, very grimdark, really interesting. It's kind of cool. Gonna see if I can get a good look on that right there. Interesting picture on that. And then a ton of plastic sprues. Everybody loves plastic sprues. So let's take a look and see what's inside on this. I'll pull some out here and we'll get started. First sprue off the top. Looks like it is the new bikes. Can't remember what they're actually called. Let's see here. The new Outriders. Primaris bikers, new to the Warhammer 40k. I guess they were wanting to give them a quicker way to get across the table instead of just running across or running around in impulsors and repulsors. But really cool looking. Let's see if we can get some neat looking sculpts on these. Like that. That's actually really cool. They're low slung. These are easy to put together. Really easy. I think these are not multi-part. They may come out with multi-part kits later, but in the meantime, these are really nice. Really nice kits. Let's see if I can get a better shot on some of this stuff here. These are really awesome. I'm loving these. White Scars are gonna, and Dark Angels are gonna love these guys. Let's see what else we have here in the box. We've got the new, this looks like, this is not the Lieutenant. I think this is actually, yeah, no, this is not the Lieutenant. This is the Captain. The new Primaris Captain. He's actually really nice. Stomping on a dead Necron here. They're not quite dead because he's stomping on it. 3 alternate heads. That's always cool. You get a good look at those. Bear head, one with the visor lifted up and one with the visor down. Let's see, he's got his little visor up so you can kind of see what's going on there. They've got... Oh, this is actually a... This goes on the 50mm, I think is what this is on. 40mm base. This is very, very detailed. These plastic sculpts have come a long way. Here's that new Necron. I'm guessing it's a new, not a Scorpic Lord, it's their new HQ choice. I'm going to turn a light on there so I can make it a little easier to see. Very, very cool. And next sprue in here, this is, looks like it's the Lieutenant. Lieutenant and what looks like a lower echelon Necron leader. It's got some kind of Gauss weapon also. Looks like it's the same one that the new Necron warriors have. Looks very interesting. There's him there. Very, very cool. Again, these guys are somewhat easy build. They're very simple kits. Easy to put together, but very detailed. Very cool. Lots of little stuff for the base, like there's another dead Necron head there to go with this Lieutenant. One of the many Space Marine Lieutenants, but this one's got a big fancy shield. Fancy tower shield. What do we have here? These are, the next ones up are the new Intercessors. Assault Intercessors. With their new Astartes chainswords and fancy bolt pistols. Looks like you have the options. Let's see what kind of options you have in here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 heads. So you can go all helmeted or like a combat squad kind of thing where you've got the lieutenant with no helmet. And up here you've got his helmet on his hip. So you've got a little bit of customization going too if you wanted to. Very cool. This next sprue is more of the same. It's actually 5 per. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bodies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 bodies per. So it looks like these are the 5-man combat squads. So you get 10 assault intercessors. Very cool. I'm hoping the next box sets will have removable shoulder pads because I believe the Warhammer community site said that the Death Watch can use these. So my Death Watch army will definitely be using these guys. And the fancy lieutenant. Probably have to use him as a captain and this new fancy captain. Fancy. So, let's see what else we got in here. We've got, this is those 3-legged destroyers. Looks like they opted to go with legs instead of floating about like the destroyers currently do. Maybe it's probably because of the close combat ability these guys have, because they've got big giant glaives. Nothing decorative on the bases for these guys, but still very detailed. Very, very cool. Very cool sculpts. Let's see, and this next one is the... Looks like you've got another... Maybe this might be the big giant Cryptek looking fella down here. This guy right here. Huge tabard. Chest piece. Oh, Castellan Battle Fist. Big giant pointy fingers. Oh, and this is that War of the Worlds kind of looking guy. Big giant body. Multiple halves to him. This one looks really neat too. They're going to look really, really cool. Looks like they go together real easy too. These are the new Necron Warriors. Necron players will love this because you don't have to fiddle with the little plastic rods anymore. They decided to go the way of the solid plastic guns. You can detail out that little bit inside there to give it that little green glow that they all tend to have now. Yeah, new Scarab Swarms. These are kind of cool. I like that. You don't have to stick the individual little ones on their little flight bases anymore. You've actually got a little swarm of them. That's really neat. And yeah, when you put them on the bases, if you look right here, they've got little pegs. So even when you put them on the bases, they look like they're flying. Little bugs flying on the bases. About time they did that. Goes the way of the other swarms that they've had in the past. Let's see here. This is more Necron Warriors. A little bit decorative on the bases. These actually are probably for the Necrons. Maybe for the Scarab Swarms. So it looks like each sprue gives you 3 Scarab Swarms. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. 3 Scarab Swarms per base. Very cool. 2 identical sprues. Gives you your full squad there. And this last sprue in here, this is looks like it's the Eliminators. Eliminators are in here with their Gravis armor, big giant melta rifles. Standard bear, your Ancient. There's there's the Executioner. There's his body. There's his leg. Big giant squared off sword. What does that say? That's hard to read. It's too tiny. And you got your new Chaplain. Looks like maybe he might have alternate head sculpts, hopefully. Maybe he's got an alternate head sculpt. Then your Blade Veterans with your tower shields here. Your shields are bigger than standard storm shields. I think that might be what's leading to these big giant storm shields here. So that might be what's leading people to believe that they're... This box set, actually, the FAQ and the designer's notes say that the Storm Shield rules that are for use for these guys that are on the website that give you a 4+ invulnerable and a +1 to your armor save are exclusive to the guys in this set. So if they go through and change it later, I guess we'll have an FAQ on that. That will make Terminators and Storm Shields really disgusting. 2-up save normally, +1 to your save, you 1-up save and a 4+ invulnerable. That's 1 always fails though, so I guess it basically really negates any modifiers to the Terminator armor. But yeah, these are really, really cool. These Blade Veterans are interesting, and like I said before, according to Games Workshop, the Death Watch can use all these guys. We'll see in what capacity they're talking about, though. There's always a little caveat with that on how they can be used. They may just be able to take them as a detachment. I don't know. I'll find out once they actually release good and proper rules for them. That's all the models. And you got another sheet of artwork. This one's a little dinged up, probably because all the sprues on it. But you got the good cover one. So you got if you want to frame these, they're really nice. They're the same size as all the other ones, so you just gotta find the right frame and put them all up. Let's see what else we got in here. We've got, this is Indomitus. Let me cover this up there. New Warhammer 40k novel from Gav Thorpe, special edition hardback. This is a download for the novel. It's an excerpt. Alright, so that's this. This is the excerpt. Now, what else do we have in here? We have The Edge of Silence. Looks like this is the campaign book. And looks like the directions for putting all of your models together. take a quick look at this. See what we've got inside of this. Alright, you got 2 books. Indomitus. Directions on how to put everything together. Little close-ups on color schemes for the guys. Shows you your sprues. How the models go together. What they're actually called. That weird little thing right there. For the Necrons. Alright, that's cool. It's pretty comprehensive. Shows you this is how you put the stuff together. That's how you paint it. If you're going to do whatever the factions are here. You got Ultramarines and Sautek? I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't play Necron, so I'm not really sure exactly what that one is. Alright, and this is Edge of Silence. This is the Warzone Pariah. It's a Warzone book. I guess it's similar to the ones that were in some of the other starters. Campaign book gives you a little background on the purpose of the battles that they're fighting, why they're doing it, where they're fighting. There's a list and pictures of everything that's in the army up to this point. You've got your characters up here and then everything up here. Quite cool. And of course your rules for everything. Alright. Oh, this is that relic shield Primaris Captain's using. This one's actually different. Storm Shield. This goes back to the rules in the designer commentary notes that you can get off of the Warhammer community website that tells you don't use these Storm Shield rules for anything outside of this book. Because this Storm Shield is better than a regular Storm Shield, and the rules are different. So unless they go back through and errata all the Storm Shields in the game to copy the rules for this Lieutenant and these Blade Guard veterans, you stick with what's currently in your book. So you got Absolver bolt pistols on the Chaplain, Crozius. And those rules are pretty much the same. But it needs a hate. Judiciar. Blade parry. He's got invulnerable save in close combat. He gets to pick who fights. Interesting. There's your rules for your bikes. Oh, they're 4 wounds apiece. Wow, these are stout. Stout bikes. Jeez. Devastating charge. Add 2 to the attack skill. So when they charge, they got 4. That's unpleasant. Combat squads. You can separate the intercessors into 5-man squads. So it actually has, since it's in 5 mans on the sprues, you can actually just put 2 5-man squads together. That's interesting too. Eradicators, the big boys. Toughness 5, 3 wounds, 2 attacks. Melta rifles, long range. Basically, it's got the range of a multi-melta, but it's assault, not heavy. That's probably has to do with the Gravis armor these guys are wearing, because they're in Mark 10 Gravis armor, which explains the higher toughness and the wounds characteristic. So, and then we got our Necrons. You got your Overlord. That's your main cheese here. Typical Necron stuff. Tachyon Arrow, Hyperface Glaive. A lesser commander. That's actually always cool. That's always good to see. Need for them to do something like that for the Adeptus Mechanicus. Let's see, we got Plasmancer. Looks probably like a new Cryptek. Scorpek Lord. That's this guy here. That's the 3-legged Destroyer Cult. Oh, so he's a Destroyer Lord. Scorpek Destroyers. That's what that little dude is. Plasmacytes. Use their proboscis to inject an infectious sentient energy into the ranged members of the Destroyer Cult. Okay. So a unit of those guys is Destroyers plus the little eyeball guy. Oh no, he's got a little head right here. That's his body. Oh, he's just all neat looking little dude. Then you got Crypto Thralls. Protector's Aura. NA models cannot target a Cryptek unit from your army with ranged weapons while it is within 3 inches. Oh, okay, so the little trash can looking guys are, that's these little guys here. They're bodyguards. That's cool. Little close combat bodyguards. Canoptek Reanimator. Canoptek monster. He's like a big scarab. He does weird things. Nano Scarab Reanimation Beam. Add one to the reanimation. Oh, you can add the reanimation protocol so they get up faster. No, their number is Legion. Rerolls of 1 for Necron Warriors when they reanimate. That's new. That's not something I saw before. Feeder Mandibles. Canoptek Scarab Swarms. Resolving attack made on some out of hit roll of 6 automatically scores a hit and successfully wounds. Do not make a wound roll. Oh! That's interesting. So you can, even though they only have a strength of 3, they can still wound anything. As long as you hit it with a 6. Interesting. That's going to be kind of cool. See how people incorporate that into their armies. Now let's see. The big... Whoa. That is a big, pretty book. That is nice. Big, fat rule book. Got Rabute and Abaddon on a cover. This is the cover exclusive to this box set. When the army book comes out, it's probably going to have like a border around it, or the back's probably not going to be wrapped around like this. So if you get a chance to pick one up, this is a really pretty book. I like this. This looks really nice. That's interesting. Can't really tell from there. If I can bring it a little closer. You've got the inside cover is nothing but screaming faces. That's interesting. Okay. Table of contents, color guides. Tells you a little bit about what's going on in the Warhammer universe while you've been playing 8th edition. What tells you what's everything is going on. A little bit on all the different armies. The war zones, the planets, Imperial agents. Little pictures of all the different guys, different army things. Imperial Guard, one of my favorites. Ah, Mechanicus. Second favorite. Knights, the big boys. Chaos. A little bit of everything. You got a little bit of reading to do on these, just so you can see if any of the information's changed on it or not. I doubt it, but these are always fun to read, just to see what if anything is different. I'm sure these guys are going to be a little bit different. That's their updated rules. Orcs, Tau Empire, 5th Spear expansion. This is more Tau stuff. Gene Stealer Cult, the Eldar, more Necron. All these are all little battle things. This is really cool. All this, I always love the art out of these books. The rules, how to play, basic rules, dice, reinforcements. I like the setup on this. It's actually really, really nice. How they changed the new... This is how they changed how you put your armies together. I heard about this. So, you have point cost. Everybody has the same number of command points, and you spend command points for detachments instead of being the other way around. You actually have, instead of how it used to be, where you have... for every detachment you have, you add command points. And you start with like a base of like 3 or something. But these, everybody starts with the same number, and you spend them, and you can get them back. As if you look here, command benefits. Some of them have them, some of them don't. If your warlord is part of the detachment, then you actually get the command points you spent back, which is cool. Some of these don't, like Vanguard detachments, these right here. Outrider Spearhead. I'm assuming it means these we're probably not going to have, your warlord can't be in there. Well, they removed the Supreme Command detachment, so you've got, at least how it used to be. Now, if you have it, it has to be your Warlord's got to be in there. Battle-Forged Army rosters. More Army showcases. Stratagems, strategic reserves, the new terrain rules. I'll be happy to get my mitts into those to see how things have changed. Terrain apparently means something now. The table board is smaller. All your scenarios. More of the army showcasing. That's cool. Well, that's interesting. This model doesn't come with a base, but this guy put a base on it. I wonder if that's going to be the next. Anything in here for some clearance, blah blah blah. Enjoys with the. He may have just put a base on it to unify his armies. I've heard about people doing that. They actually put bases on their vehicles just so that everything looks the same. So when they base their guys, they match the tanks and the vehicles. Crusade cards, requisition points. I'll have to look and see what that means. Looks like a campaign rules, Crusade mission pack, Crusade rules. That's apparently a new way to fight. Wait, what was that? That is a rules appendix, people. That is new. You don't really have that very often in these books from Games Workshop. Usually the rules are over and it just ends. But then you have an appendix, so quick reference type information. That's nice. Rule terms and glossary, that's new too. A glossary of terms. So when people ask you, what does pile-in mean? Pile-in's right there. Tells you, pile-in, 3-inch move that must end with the model closer to the closest enemy in it. Enemy model. That's actually awesome. That is awesome. Okay. Well, that's a pretty cool book. Also, back page. More screaming faces. That's cool. And a new transfer sheet. New transfer sheet for, well, this one's for Space Marines. It looks like it's got Space Marine, you got Ultramarines, Blood Angels, Space Wolves, and Dark Angels. Here's your 4 mains. Varying sizes for your guys. And then you have the, what is that? Is that a, why are they so small? Some of these are ridiculously tiny. I mean, look at this right here. This is the tiniest transfer I have ever seen in my life. It's a teeny tiny skull. Then over here, you have a teeny tiny little eagle. That's crazy. I don't even know what that would be for. But yeah, that's the contents. Usually on the sides we got, what do we have here? We have bases for all of your guys, so that's useful there. You got bases for everything. Overall, I'd say this is a really nice box set for $200, or if you pick it up from your online retailers, you pick them up for a little bit cheaper. It's that's definitely worth every penny, I think. With all the units that you get, all this fancy plastic you got in here, that's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of really cool characters. Again, some of the details here from some of these models. Let me see if I can get it to focus on that. That's just a banner bearer. That is just crazy. The level of detail that these plastic models have gotten over the past few years, just amazing. See on little scarab swarms, they're just neat. Very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. But yeah, I mean that's Indomitus. There's a lot of stuff in here. There's a lot of, that is a big full box of plastic. That is a giant box of plastic. And there she goes. All right. Well, now for the inevitable plug. We'll actually have some of this stuff on sale Saturday. When this video goes live, we'll have some of these units individually available. So just check out our store. I'll have a link in the description below. But yeah, that's Indomitus. Very pretty box, very stout box. Big beefy Space Marine. Alright, well, that's gonna do it for this video. If you like this, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one.